In this video, I share the 4 foods I avoid or reduce after 50 because of how they affect my digestion, energy, sleep, and healthy aging. If you've noticed certain meals leaving you feeling heavier, more slowed down, or less steady than you used to feel, these are the everyday foods that may be quietly affecting how well you age and how long you stay independent. Life is short and enjoying our food matters. In my last video, I shared the foods I'm eating at 58 to support my brain, digestion, overall energy, and to help me stay independent as I age. But healthy aging isn't just about what we add. Some foods speed up the aging process, especially when they disrupt our energy, sleep, or digestion. So here are the 4 foods I reduced after 50, and the simple swaps that feel much better for my body now. Refined carbs were the first thing I noticed affecting me differently, especially once perimenopause began. Being Filipino, I grew up loving rice, and I still enjoy the comfort of a warm bowl of pasta or a slice of cake. But I started noticing that these familiar foods felt different in my body as I've got older. I started feeling bloated after meals, tired in the afternoons, and waking up hungry in the middle of the night. Breakfast, like cereals or pastries, left me hungry again an hour later. And when I was stressed, the cravings got harder. Over time, it became easier to gain weight, even though I wasn't eating any differently. Something many of us may notice, as metabolism naturally slows down with age. And on top of that, I noticed more brain fog after certain meals. That slow, cloudy feeling that makes it so much harder to focus. Another sign that these foods were hitting me differently. Our body can only process about 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of sugar at a time. Each time our blood sugar rises, insulin steps in to bring things back down into balance. As we age, this response becomes less efficient, so the rises feel sharper and the dips feel harder. That's why refined carbs hits us differently after 50. These days, if I have breakfast, I keep it simple. Whole grain sourdough toast, or an omelette or scrambled eggs. More recently, I've been having yogurt with mixed seeds, which feels gentle on my digestion and keeps me full, focused, and energized until lunchtime. It also stops me from reaching for a morning snack, and this makes my energy feel much more stable. At lunch, instead of a sandwich or a bowl of pasta, I'll usually choose a quinoa or a plate filled with vegetables. Recently, I've noticed that if my lunch is mostly made up of a leafy salad, I end up hungry again quite quickly. So lately, I've been batch making more hearty salads with beans or chickpeas and plenty of broccoli. These higher fibre and more substantial vegetables keep me fuller for longer and help reduce the afternoon hunger pangs that used to make me snack more. If I want a snack, I'll have one. I'll just make sure I put a portion on a plate first. That simple step stops me from mindlessly eating through a whole pack of biscuits or a packet of crisps without realizing it. And it helps me enjoy the snack without going overboard. Reducing refined carbs and added sugar has supported my healthy aging, as it stabilizes my energy, helps minimize those afternoon crashes, and reduces the bloating and brain fog I used to get after meals. And my body feels more supported as I age. Processed oils creep into so many convenience foods, pastries, crisps, crackers, and takeaways. And I'm not going to pretend I never have them, because I do, just far less than I used to. I rarely have chips or pastries now, and when I do, I'll let myself enjoy them without guilt. There are many times when I slip into more snacks and convenience foods than usual, but I found I can only keep that up for a few days before my body lets me know. I wake up with stiff joints, my digestion feels heavier, and I feel more sluggish and foggy. It's a sad reminder that my body doesn't bounce back like it used to. Many of us become more sensitive to inflammation in midlife, especially for us women. As estrogen naturally declines, we lose some of its anti-inflammatory support, which means our bodies feel the effects of certain foods more strongly. Even with a balanced diet, processed oils can make us feel worse than they used to. With the cost of foods nowadays, it's unrealistic to have fresh food all the time. And convenience foods are exactly that, convenient. None of us want to spend hours in the kitchen every day. So when I do choose something convenient, I try to balance it out with vegetables or a big side of salad, so the meal is still nourishing. I stick to olive oil for cooking or light frying. Though, to be completely honest, there are days when I still use olive oil, which contains rapeseed oil. Being on a tight budget, I can't afford olive oil all the time. And I think it's important to keep things realistic. It's about choosing what supports your body most of the time, not aiming for perfection. But I'm quite liberal with the butter because I genuinely enjoy it. Reducing processed oils has also supported my healthy aging. It eases the inflammation that used to make my joints feel stiff. When my body feels less inflamed, everything from my digestion to my movement feels easier as I age. Gone are the days when I could have a few drinks and bounce back the next morning. It's been a real shift for me, because for years, like a lot of people, drinking was tied to good memories, connection, and social life. These days, if I do have a drink, it's usually after a long day of creating a video, or on a day when I'm feeling stressed. And even then, I notice that my body responds very differently now. Even 1 or 2 drinks take me 2 or 3 days to recover from. Drinking alcohol wakes me up between 1 and 3 a.m, and I feel restless even after a single glass. The next day, I often deal with anxiety and sluggishness. And recently, I've noticed I can feel low for a couple of days after drinking. A clear sign that alcohol hits differently at this stage in life. Hormonal shifts and slower liver processing mean alcohol has more impact now. And it can also deplete B vitamins more easily, which are important for steady energy, mood, and overall resilience as we age. Surprisingly, I don't get the classic hangovers anymore. It's more that I just can't drink the way I used to. Alcohol doesn't give me that same relaxed, pleasurable feeling it did in my younger days. These days, being able to focus, stay motivated, and keep my mood steady means more to me than having a drink just for the sake of it. That's the real reason I don't drink as often now. I give myself plenty of alcohol-free days because it helps my body settle and recover. If I do have a drink, it's usually at the weekend, and just 1 or 2, because that's what feels manageable for me now. I also make little agreements with myself, like waiting until I've finished editing and uploading a video before I have a drink. This helps me to stay mindful instead of drinking just because I can. And honestly, the cost of alcohol these days naturally makes drinking less a lot easier. Over time, drinking less supports healthy aging because it gives our liver more space to recover. It helps stabilise our nervous system and reduces the inflammation and low mood days that tend to linger more in midlife. This was harder to cut back on than alcohol because I really love my coffee. Caffeine started hitting me differently in my 40s, and especially once perimenopause began, which was something I did not expect. Drinking too much coffee now leaves me feeling wired, more tense in my body, and I suffer from lighter broken sleep and those types of nights where I'd wake up feeling alert instead of rested. Eventually, I realised the disturbed sleep just wasn't worth it anymore. Caffeine can take around 10 hours to fully metabolize, and our body processes it more slowly as we get older. So it stays in our system longer, stimulating our nervous system well into the evening. Better sleep supports healthier aging because it gives our body the chance to repair, reset, and restore itself. And when we cut back on caffeine, especially later in the day, we're giving our nervous system the space it needs to make deeper rest possible. That shows up in everything from digestion and mood to our energy, clarity, and how steady we feel day to day. Nowadays, before I have my coffee, I always start with a glass of warm water, as warm as I can take it, to wake my system gently. I only have 1 cup of coffee now, and I've usually drank it by around 9 AM. If I want a hot drink later in the day, I'll have a rooibos or red bush tea in the afternoon, and since it's got colder in the evenings, I often have a fresh mint tea. As we move through midlife, the way food affects us naturally changes. What matters most isn't cutting everything out. It's noticing how our body responds and making gentle, realistic adjustments that help us feel lighter, clearer, and more steady day to day. Healthy aging isn't about perfection. It's about small choices that support our digestion, protect our sleep, and keep our energy steady so we can stay independent for as long as possible. If this video helped you, I'd love for you to watch the next one in the series, where I share what I do to get better sleep at midlife. Simple natural habits that support deeper rest, clearer mornings, and steadier energy as we age.